Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Psalm 23. There was a man named Elias, whose life was a heavy and desolate burden. He was born in a small town forgotten by progress, a place where opportunities were scarce and misery was the only constant. From a young age, Elias had to struggle to survive, and poverty became his most loyal companion. Elias's childhood was marked by nights without food and endless days of hard labor. His father, a factory worker, toiled long hours for a meager wage, barely enough to put food on the table. Elias's mother passed away when he was still very young, and he grew up without the maternal affection that many children enjoy. As he grew, Elias watched his town slowly disintegrate. The factory closed, leaving hundreds of workers unemployed, including his father. The town fell into a state of decay, with abandoned houses and closed shops. Life became a constant battle for survival. As time passed, Elias struggled to keep his head held high, but poverty was eating away at him from the inside. He lost hope, and with each passing day, the darkness of his existence grew denser. His father, too, succumbed to depression, turning to alcohol and neglecting his son. Elias, now a young adult, found himself at a crossroads in life. He had no education, no prospects, no money. His only certainty was that his suffering would never end. He wandered aimlessly through the deserted town, searching for some reason to continue. One day, as Elias sat on a solitary bench in the city park, lost in his somber thoughts, a man approached him. This man had an unassuming appearance, dressed in plain clothes and wearing a warm smile on his face. He sat down beside Elias, as if he were an old friend, and began to converse with him. "How are you, my friend?" the man asked, with genuine empathy in his voice. Elias looked surprised at the stranger. No one had ever shown interest in him before. He replied reluctantly, "I'm just trying to survive, but it seems like God doesn't want to give me a chance." The man smiled again, as if he knew exactly what Elias was going through. "Sometimes life can be very tough," he said, "but sometimes we need a little nudge to change our destiny." Elias was perplexed. He didn't know who this man was, but his presence was comforting. The stranger continued the conversation, listening attentively to Elias's story, his struggles, and his lack of hope. He then began to offer a lot of advice, showing the way and everything Elias should do to change his life situation. "You are stronger than you think, Elias. Difficulties in life shape your character and determination. It's the same for everyone. In your darkest, most somber, most challenging moments, that's where you can find all your strength, a strength you never imagined you had. But for this, you need to trust in God. Nothing is lost. There's a way for everything. Just believe." Do you believe that, Elias? You've never been alone. You can be sure of that. Elias was impressed by the stranger's words. He began to feel a glimmer of hope that had long been extinguished within him. The mysterious man advised him on how to seek opportunities, learn new things, and rebuild his life. He gave Elias a sense of purpose he had never felt before. Elias regained his trust in God and started to believe that anything was possible. In the months that followed, Elias followed the man's advice. He found a temporary job in the nearest city and saved every penny he earned. He also decided to return to school at night to get a proper education. His determination and positive attitude began to bear fruit. As time passed, things started to improve for Elias. He advanced in his professional life and secured a stable job at a local company. His education continued to grow, and he became a respected individual in his town. Finally, he was able to buy a house and had enough money to take care of his father, who was finally recovering from his sobriety. Elias married an incredible woman, and they had children who brought joy to their lives. His family was a symbol of his victory, and the town that had once been on the brink of collapse was flourishing again. One day, as Elias was looking out the window of his beautiful home, he saw the man who had appeared in his life many years ago. He recognized him immediately, although the figure appeared more radiant and transcendent than before. The man smiled and approached, and Elias knew that this encounter was special. "You've done incredible things, Elias," said the man. "Your faith, your determination, and your ability to change your own life are admirable." Elias, now grateful for his second chance at life, looked at the man and asked, "Who are you? How did you know what I needed and gave me strength when I was about to give up?" The mysterious man looked into Elias's eyes and replied with a serene smile, "Elias, I am simply, I am. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am the one who is always by your side, guiding you even when you cannot see me. And even when you lose your faith, I am always here. I am the one who listens to your silent prayers and responds in ways that you may not initially understand. I am God." The man's words resonated in Elias's soul. He fell to his knees, not in despair but in reverence. He finally understood that the change in his life was not a result of chance, but rather God's plans for his life. Elias cried tears of gratitude, knowing that God was by his side in his journey from darkness to light. Elias's story became an inspiring testimony in his town and beyond. It taught everyone that even in the darkest moments, hope is never truly lost, and a simple encounter with God can change the course of a life. It also reinforced the belief that sometimes God acts in mysterious ways to guide us toward prosperity and happiness. As the Lord tells us in Psalm 23, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." This passage is a powerful declaration of faith and trust in God. Just like Elias, who experienced the darkness of poverty and despair, it is also important to acknowledge God's constant presence in our lives, regardless of circumstances. The image of God as a shepherd is a reminder that He takes care of us, guides us, protects us, and provides all that we need. When Elias was on the brink of despair, feeling abandoned by life and without hope, he found guidance and support in the words and actions of the mysterious man who, like God, was by his side to help him overcome his challenges. This reminds us that God often works through people and circumstances to fulfill His purposes. Like Elias, all of us encounter moments of darkness in our lives. We may find ourselves in desperate situations, battling adversity, and feeling that hope is lost. However, Psalm 23 reminds us that even in the darkest situations, God is with us, guiding us, protecting us, and supplying our needs. Just as Elias found a second chance and a new life through God's intervention, we can find renewed hope and purpose when we trust in God. He can lead us out of darkness into the light, from desolation to prosperity, from sadness to joy. Elias's story teaches us that no matter how dire our situation may be, God's presence and grace are always with us, ready to guide us on our journey. Therefore, let us remember to trust in the promise of Psalm 23 that the Lord is our shepherd, and we shall not want. Also, this video that is appearing on your screen, it will be of great significance in your life. Amen.